consistently at the right doses. Slide. This is very important slide showing that if adherence high at the left side 95%, the viral suppression could be around 80. But what happens if adherence down to 90? The viral suppression will be only 65. How about 80? That one, yes. See, 80% of adherence, the viral suppression is only 50%. So that's why we should support people living with HIV to take their antiretroviral with adherence 95%. What does it mean? 95%, if they use it 30 days, it means it's only allowed to be lost 1 day. It's very, very difficult because if you take the medicine, whether antibiotic or any medicine, usually we will forget it. So to make it not failure of viral suppression, adherence is very important. Right? So we are now in the era of antiretroviral. What does it mean? WHO stated that AIDS is not a fatal disease anymore, but AIDS now already become controlled chronic disease. Right? How about the side effect of antiretroviral? Fortunately, mostly mild and tolerable, like allergy or anemia or nausea, but most of the people living with HIV could tolerate the antiretroviral. Right? Now coming to HIV infection and use. Mrs. Wong already mentioned that information of HIV among youth is very important. Not only information, but lifestyle. Healthy behavior among youth is very important. And service of voluntary counseling and testing should be everywhere. So everybody who wants to know about their status as HIV could access the service. If it's negative, they are very lucky, but if positive, access to treatment should be everywhere. And please remember that people living with HIV could recover again, could productive again, so access to study and work should be there. So, who need HIV tests? Of course, if someone feels that they have a risky behavior, like unsafe sexual relation or sharing needle, especially during intravenous drug users, should have their test. But everybody who want to know HIV status also welcome to use the testing, HIV testing. Slide. Number of infected persons in many countries are high. So what is the future of them? Actually, if someone diagnosed and treated well, the future of HIV infected person is same as non-infected persons. Maybe with a little bit some limitations, like HIV infected person not allowed to donate their blood and organ. But how about married? They could marry, they could have children, and they could study and work as others. Right? So As summary, we already discussed HIV infection is important health problem in our regions, especially also among youth. So knowing the mode of transmission is very important because prevention is important measure. Treatment of HIV antiretroviral change the natural history of infections. People infected with HIV not necessarily will die, they could survive now. And access to information, diagnosis, and treatment among youth is very important. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Samsurizal. Okay, dear participants, now we come to the discussion sessions. May I remind you that after these sessions, we will have sessions on current situation of HIV and AIDS, and then we have another sessions on HIV and AIDS preventions. We have another 3 sessions relating with preventions, and then we have session on psychological impact, economic and psychological impact of HIV and AIDS, and another perspective and issues. So let us now focus on the natural history of HIV and AIDS, because another issues will be covered in another sessions. Okay, now let me invite maybe some questions from our colleagues and students from Hasanuddin University. Hasanuddin University, can you hear us? Is there any questions from your side?
Okay. I have a question. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thanks for the time. First, I'm very happy to know and asking for the person who almost full-time research this matter disease, Professor. Good morning, Professor.
Morning.
I have 2 questions. First, my question may be a little out. How a prof opinion about the herbal and alternative treatment with AIDS? The next question, how to make the price of the cheaper AIDS drugs? Thank you.
Please, Professor Samsurizal.
Thank you. So we have already, for opportunistic infections, the evidence-based drugs which is used. Some of them are very cheap, although some are expensive. But opportunistic infection is a common infection among us without HIV. So like diarrhea or TB is already approved drug, which is already evidence-based. It means that the efficacy is already proved. But herbal and alternative has a place for symptomatics, like to increase our appetite or for sleep, but to stop the multiply of the HIV, we already have antiretroviral which is approved to be effective. So herbal and alternative is complementary to the approve of the drug already approved to HIV or opportunistic infection. So it's complementary, not alternative. So you don't stop the antiretroviral and using herbal or alternative medicine. How about the price? Yeah, we are very fortunate that WHO and many countries now have a program, Access for All. What does it mean? That people who need antiretroviral hopefully could access the antiretroviral because Access for All, the price should be very, very cheap. And there are many countries who have also produced, like Indonesia also produced the antiretroviral by locally, so the price will be very cheap. But of course, still there is budget for this, and we hope that many ASEAN governments will committed to the access for all. It means that they will put the budget in the national budget.
Okay, is that clear, Hasanuddin? Okay, now let's proceed to another side. Let me invite questions maybe from Udayana University. Udayana University, are you hear me? Is there any questions? Any questions from Udayana? Yes, please. Udayana, can you hear me? No questions? Okay, now let's move to another side. If
Yes.
there is...
There are
Okay.
any questions from Udayana?
Okay, please, Udayana.
Thank you for the time. I'd like to ask Professor Zubairi about the if a positive high HIV positive individual stop their treatment for a while, let's say for a month, because the access is difficult, and they want to continue their treatment after 1 month. Is there any evidence that prove that their treatment will be a success or something or unsuccess? Thank you.
Excuse me, from which sides are you? Can you introduce yourself from which side?
Udayana University.
Udayana University, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now, Professor Samsudizal, please.
So the question is about how if someone stop their treatment for 1 month, is the efficacy is still high? We already mentioned that adherence is very important, but in the field we know that someone maybe stop their treatment because of some reasons. They don't like it, or they are boring, or sometimes because of the availability of the antiretroviral. So if they start it again, the risk of resistance is there, but it doesn't mean that they will not efficacy anymore. Still, maybe still efficacy, but the risk of resistance maybe arise. Fortunately, in Jakarta, we just make a survey about resistance on ARV, that newly diagnosed HIV, which is not yet treated by antiretroviral, the resistance to antiretroviral, first-line antiretroviral, is still low, below 5%. It means that until now, the problem of resistance in our country is not as big as the developed countries. But if we don't take this antiretroviral regularly, consistently, like another country, like developed country, the resistance problem will arise. So you can talk with someone who stopped their medicine. You should discuss the problem with the physicians, and the physician maybe will start it again if there is no another choice, or maybe they will change it to another antiretroviral if there is an alternative for that.
Okay, I hope it's quite clear. Okay, now let me invite maybe one question.
Hello.
Let me invite the questions from UI side, Salemba. Salemba, can you hear me? Any question from Salemba?
Hello, yes, Taufik from UI Salemba.
Yes, please.
Good morning, Prof. Samsu. My name is Taufik. Came from Public Health Faculty of University of Indonesia. The question is, if you don't mind, I have a lot of questions. First, in the slide of your presentation, you present that adherence and success of treatment. The question is the source of data about adherence and success of treatment, what factor contribute to the success of treatment? Is only adherence, or there is another factor? That is the first question. Because I've got client in the field. He is 5 years old and has already 4 years consumption ARV, and then the viral load still got increased, and but the adherence is always, his mother is always give ARV for this child, but last week the test VL make increase viral load. This is the first question. The second one is, had you heard about the side effect of ARV, antiretroviral, for depression? I heard about there is someone that had depression because using consumption ARV for a long time, not for every man, every woman that use ARV, but for a certain man. So, had you heard about depression effect of ARV? Thank you, Prof. Samsu.
Thank you for a question. Adherence is very important, and that's why we should maintain the adherence. But besides adherence, treatment failure could also occur caused by other factors, like you mentioned about the child 5 years old. The dose, the right dose is very important in children, because in adult it's very easy, you can take 2 tablets a day or 1 tablet a day, but in children the dose is considered by the body weight or many other measures, so the dose is very important. The other one also resistance. So maybe after using that 4 years, 5 years, adherence, but resistance should also occur even in adherence people. And adherence is resistance is increased because if you use it a long time, the resistance will increase. So maybe after 5 years, 4 years, sometime 1 year already, resistance already occur. So first we must make sure that our client is adherent. If the adherence, treatment failures still could occur, and we should check other factors. Yes, depression could have sometimes the side effect of antiretroviral called efavirenz. So efavirenz could make you drowsy, could make you sometimes headache, and some people who use efavirenz also could have some depressions. If it's usually it happen in the beginning of the treatment, but after by the time sometimes it disappear. But if it not disappear, maybe we should change the efavirenz to another antiretroviral.
Okay, I hope it's clear enough already for the questions. Okay, now let me invite colleagues and students from University of Erlangga. Can you see us already now? Is there any questions from Surabaya? Not yet.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have. Okay, you have questions. Okay, please.
Yeah. I have just one question, maybe for Prof. Samsu Rizal. It's about the slide from Prof. Samsu Rizal about era of IRV, I think. You mentioned before that this time in the era of ARV, it's already become control chronic disease. Yeah. Yeah. In your slide about era of ARV, you mentioned that it's already become control chronic disease. Maybe Prof. Samsu can explain deeply. As we know that in our country, HIV/AIDS, tend to increase, not for, I think, increase in Papua, East Java, and another region. My question is, what is mean by control chronic disease if it's still increase in our country? Thank you for the time.
Thank you. We are using that term for outcome of the treatment. So before era of antiretrovirals, most of the AIDS cases will die because of opportunistic infections. But after antiretroviral era, the morbidity is mean that admission to hospital or mortality is decreased. It means that the chance to survive from AIDS situation is now peak in era of antiretroviral. But the problem in Indonesia and maybe also in another ASEAN countries, we diagnose HIV infection at the late stage. It's already with opportunistic infection. If we could offer the testing for asymptomatic person without opportunistic infection, and we could detect that at the early of the infection, the chance to be survived is very, very high with antiretroviral. So this term is just to mention, formerly it is considered to be a fatal disease. Everybody with it will die, but now it could be controlled. It means that they can live normally, although HIV is still in their body. So the term is not for the term of control the disease as the whole, because it's to control the disease, prevention is very important.
Okay. Now,
hello, Bu Agustin. Hello, Bu
yeah.
Agustin.
Yeah.
We have 2 questions anymore. Is it possible?
Maybe I should move to another side to give opportunity also to the other side. Later on, I will return back to University of Erlangga. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, now let me invite maybe some questions from our colleague, maybe from Bangkok or KO or Malaysia. Maybe if there are any questions, can you or will you give some signs if there is any questions from our colleague from Bangkok, from KO and from Malaysia? Okay, if there is no question, let us move to another site in Indonesia, also to University of North Sumatra. Is there a question from Medan, University of Sumatra? Usu? No question? Any question?
Yes, we have questions and one question.
Okay, okay, one question, please.
Okay, thank you for the chance. I'm from University of North Sumatra. HIV can be detected live in our body after 5 years, and that means
Sorry, we cannot hear you clearly. Can you repeat your question, please?
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, HIV can be detected live in our body after 5 years, and that means that our immunity system had been so weak because of the destruction of lymphocytes. But the detection is done in clinically latency, and it is based on the HIV test. But there is no symptom on that stage. The symptoms are given on the previous stage in primary infection, like fever and influenza. But both of them are the general response of our body. So my first question is, what is the specific of fever and influenza are caused by HIV? Thank you. And the second question comes from my friend.
Okay, the second question, we will ask, what is amphotericin B and ganciclovir? Are they kinds of ARV? And the third, I've ever heard that vitamin C can help maintain our immune system in well condition or even increase our immunity. I want to ask, can vitamin C contribute in HIV treatment by maybe increasing the CD4? Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry if I'm not so clear about the test. So we could detect HIV not 5 years. We could detect HIV if it's using the serology. There's a common test for HIV. It's around 3 months because the window period is 3 months. If the HIV enter our body with the common test, we call it serology test, in 3 months it's already positive. But if you want to know earlier than 3 months, we can also detect HIV by detecting the viral itself. In 4 weeks, you already could detect that. 5 months or 8 years is the clinical symptoms appear. So 5 years or 8 years, we call it sometimes incubation period, but not for testing. Testing, you can do it earlier by serology, because serology you measure the antibody is in 3 months. You already detected it. But virology, by examination the virus itself, by 4 weeks you already could detect that. So how we suspect that someone is maybe risky for HIV without any clinical symptoms? It's because we try to detect it by history of risky behavior. So if someone has history of using sharing needle when they are injecting drug user, that is 1 point. Or maybe unsafe sexual relation, maybe another point. Or actually everybody who want to know their status, now we open the chance to be tested. So don't be worried. If you want to be tested, it's easy and it could detect early without symptoms, not waiting for 5 years. The second question, I mentioned about some medicine which is maybe not very popular, that is ganciclovir and amphotericin B. That is not antiretroviral. That is not antiretroviral. That's the medicine for opportunistic infections. Ganciclovir is for cytomegaloviral infection. This is very common among people with HIV with CD4 less than 50. And amphotericin B is a drug for fungal infections. So it's not antiretroviral. The last question I cannot hear that about the immunity. I'm sorry.